Thank you for tuning in to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. Whether you're listening during your commute, while working out, or just relaxing at home, we appreciate you. Every download, every listen, and every subscription means a lot. Up next, the 12 Kyle podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading, and thank you for subscribing to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I am your boy, 12 Kyle. Man, check this out. On this episode, what I want to talk about is some words to live by. As you guys know, if you've been following the podcast from time to time, I genuinely get ideas from just about anywhere. And for this episode, I actually got this idea as far as what I want to talk about. It was a meme that came up. I saw it on Blue Sky the other day. And I apologize in advance because I can't remember whose page I stole it from. But it's just kind of like a little thing that talks about the words that you need to live by and gives you a couple of sentences as far as phrases and life lessons, if you will. And on this podcast, I talk about life lessons a lot because as someone who's 52 years old at the time of this recording, I've learned a lot. And I think part of learning is also being able to disperse the wisdom that you've gained over the years. And I've learned a lot. And I feel like I've been able to, give people, particularly those who tap into this podcast weekly, something to kind of take. If it's something, it could be something as simple as my personality, or it could be something that a tool, if you will, that can help you navigate through this life. So yeah, I'm always cool, and I'm always happy to share along this information because that's what it's all about for me. Nonetheless, I'll give you a few of these before we get out of here. And these are no particular order. Number one, fear does not stop death. It stops life. And that's real talk because you can be, if you allow it, you can allow yourself to be paralyzed by fear. And last time I checked, we only get one life, right? That's all you get. So you have to make the most of it. And it's okay to be fearful of things. Sometimes you can let that fear push you to be a better person, if you will. What you don't want to do is let the fear paralyze you from living life. And I've seen people be that much afraid as far as what's going on in their life to where the fear really stops them from being who they are or what they can do. A lot of times we get in our heads about things. And I think while that's natural, you can be cautious, but you can't be fearful. And if you're fearful, never be fearful to the point where it stops life. So again, fear doesn't stop death. It stops life. And again, these are no particular order. Number two, if it costs you peace, it's too expensive. You must protect your peace at all times. And peace is paramount. I don't care where you go or who you are in life, protect your peace. You really can't exist in this world without peace. There should be a level of comfort that comes with that. And you have to protect your peace by the things that you listen to, the things that you watch, and the people that you encounter, because all of those things can change you and change your mood and how you see the world. And peace is paramount. Like I said, it's if you don't have peace, you don't have anything. And there are quite a few people that we encounter on our daily lives as we go throughout this world who aren't at peace. And if you aren't at peace and you're constantly chasing peace, it's a problem. But here's the thing, you don't want it to cost you, because if it costs you peace, then it's too expensive. And that has absolutely nothing to do with money. Protect your peace at all times. Number three, people only see the decisions you made, not the choices that you had. Oh man, listen, if I had $1 for all of the choices that I had to make, and some of the decisions that we make on a day-to-day basis, it's not the most ideal situation. Sometimes we have to make decisions, like I said, based on the choices that we have. And while we would want to have multiple choices as far as the decisions to make, we're not afforded those opportunities. So you have to, as the old folks say, deal with the hand that you've been dealt. And, sometimes it's a good hand, sometimes it's not. But life will deal different cards to you. It's just really about how you play it. And, you can either play it and complain about it, or you can make the most of what you got. But yeah, people only see the decisions you've made. They never see the choices you had. And sometimes those decisions are solely based on just what you had in front of you, which was the choices. Number 4, never take criticism from someone you wouldn't take advice from. Man, listen, that is so true. Because at the end of the day, the criticism shouldn't matter, because people are going to criticize you no matter what, if you're doing right, if you're doing wrong. So never take criticism from people that you wouldn't take advice from, because those people aren't important. And the last thing that you should be worried about is the criticism from someone who's not important to you. We get to determine how and where people are as far as the level of importance in our life. And if they're not important to you, you shouldn't worry about the criticism that they give you. And like I said, never take criticism from someone who you wouldn't take advice from. Number 5, the magic that you're looking for is in the work that you're avoiding. Listen, I know, just personally speaking, I think this may apply to most of us. There's a point in time in your life where you probably weren't as driven as you are right now. Or maybe for some of you, you may need to be a little bit more driven than you are. Procrastination will never help you. While procrastination feels good at times, it's not going to help you get where you need to go. The magic that you're looking for, the destination where you're trying to get to, is in the work that you're avoiding. The bottom line is this: you're going to have to put in the work. It doesn't matter what it is or what it's about. You're going to have to put in the work to get to where you're going. So again, the magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding. Number 6, ships are safe in the harbor, but that's not what they're built for. Man, ships are safe in the harbor, but that's not what they're built for. Ships aren't meant to just dock in the harbor. There's a lot of times where we get to points in our life where, we feel comfortable when we're docked. I've said on this podcast before, like, I really don't like feeling comfortable. I don't ever want to get to a place where I'm too comfortable, because I think once you're comfortable, then complacency sets in, right? And, a ship needs to be in the water. You need to be able to navigate. Sometimes you have to navigate choppy waters. You have to navigate the water that is not where you have your plan set out for it to be smooth sailing. It's not going to be smooth sailing. That's part of what life is. But yeah, you're a ship and you're not built to stay in the harbor. So get out the harbor and make something happen. Number 7, ambition without action turns into anxiety. Let me say that again. Ambition without actions turns into anxiety. Now, I know a lot of people deal with anxiety, and this is not that type of talk, if you will. And it's good to have ambition. We all should have ambition about most things. We should have that drive that I mentioned a little earlier. You got to have that in order to, quote unquote, succeed in life. But with that being said, if you don't put the action together, then of course you're going to be anxious because you haven't put in the work. If you didn't work for the championship, you don't get to celebrate in winning the championship. But if you put in the work, then you should feel comfortable about winning. I tell people, and I tell my kids this all the time, like, or as confident as I am, when I was in school, I would get very anxious when taking tests. I mean, even right now, at 52 years old, if you told me tomorrow that I had to take a test, no matter what the test was on, I'm going to get a little nervous, right? Because I'm wondering, okay, do I know the material? But here's the thing. If you know the material and you're prepared, then everything else will take care of itself because you've taken the action of being prepared. Now, if you didn't do anything to be prepared for the test, then of course you're going to have anxiety because you're not ready. And more importantly, you know that you're not ready. That right there in and of itself can be a problem. So yeah, ambition without action turns into anxiety. Number 8, to live a life most people don't, you must be willing to do what most people won't. That is very important. A lot of times we see people with certain things, materialistic things, and I don't want to say there's envy, but I think humanistically, sometimes people say, well, why can't I have that? Oh, such and such got a new car. Why can't I have that? Or she got a new man. Why can't I get a man? I mean, the thing about that is that, you have to do what other people won't do to get what you want. You just have to be willing to put in the work. And I mean, it all comes back to work. And the thing is, most of us know what that work looks like. Some of us will avoid it, but most of us know what that work looks like. And again, to live a life, most people don't. You must be willing to do what most people won't do. Number 9, again, these are no particular order. You can do anything, but not everything. Focus. Man, if I had $1, I tell my kids all the time, stay focused. And I know that they probably are like, Dad, what are you talking about? Like, man, you keep saying stay focused, but I really, truly, particularly, the older two who are in college, stay focused. Stay focused because the world has provided you so many things. And it's a beautiful world. Don't get me wrong. Technology has given you so many things that you can easily be distracted. Stay focused. You have to stay focused. If you're focused, the reward will be there. Everything that you think that you're missing, you're not. It'll be there. Trust me. I'm an old head. I've been down that road before. You will get it and get to it rather quickly, probably, if you didn't, if you're trying. But yeah, you can do anything, but not everything. Stay focused. Number 10, if you want to make the wrong decision, ask everybody. Listen, the court of public opinion doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't. So you can't really ask everybody about what you should do because everybody can't walk in your Jordans. Everybody can't walk in your pumps. I'm sorry. And if you want to make a bad decision, involve everybody in the decision-making process. Now, yeah, we all should have a council of friends or family or siblings or what have you, people that we can turn to. Some people turn to their parents, some people turn to their friends, some people turn to their siblings. It just really depends. And some people turn to all of those people. But if you want to make the wrong decision, ask everybody because everybody's going to tell you something different. They're not necessarily going to tell you something wrong, but they're going to tell you something different. And that doesn't help when everybody's giving you the same or at least giving you something different. Number 11, those who don't move won't notice their chains. Ooh, that's a bar. Those who don't move won't notice their chains. It's funny that I hear that and see that right now. As last night, I was watching one of my favorites TV shows, Snowfall. It was the last episode, and the character Franklin Saint, he was talking to his homeboy Lee, and he was saying, Lee, I don't have any more chains on me. So he was basically saying, like, I was bound by chasing money. My whole life I was chasing this dream. I was chasing, the riches and everything like that. And look where it got me. But, I'm moving now. So I don't have any more chains. There's nothing else that's holding me down. You have to move. Moving is a part of energy. Moving is a part of getting to where you want to so that there can be some success. Never stay stagnant. Never stay stagnant. But those who don't move won't notice their change. Number 12, it's okay to live a life most people don't understand. Man, listen, that is so true. Your life isn't meant for everybody to understand. Your life isn't your life isn't even meant for people to be able to comprehend as to what it is you're doing. Like I remember when I was in college, um, me and my teammates, some of my closest teammates, like my boy Mo, we would always ask each other, "Are you doing this for you, or are you doing it for the world, or are you doing it for the boys?" Who are you doing this for? Like, are you going to class to please everybody else? Are you going to class because that's what you're supposed to do? Are you going to class for yourself? Are you preparing yourself for a world for you? Or are you trying to live for other people's expectations or wants or desires? No, live for yourself, because at the end of the day, you're the only person that's going to live with yourself your entire life. And when it's all over, you're going to be the only person that leaves. So, no, don't worry about what people think about your life. Live your life. Be smart, be focused, but live your life. And it's okay to live a life that most people don't understand, because it ain't really meant for them to understand. Number 13, if someone could only see your actions and not hear your words, what would they say your priorities are? That's deep, man, because you have to define what's a priority to you. Everybody's priorities are different, and everybody's priorities change over a period of time. Like for me, when I was younger, it was really about focusing on what it was that I wanted to do and how I wanted to get to it. As I got older and I got married and had kids, then that's the focus. The focus became the family. Now I still had to be me and grow into me, but the individual things kind of moved to the side just a little, and it was about family goals, family oriented things, or what have you. But if you look back on my actions said, okay, he's doing this for his family. He's doing this to set himself up for life, in his golden years. Because people want to see your actions. Ultimately, they want to see your actions. So if someone could only see your actions and not hear your words, then what would they say about your priorities? Hopefully something good. Hopefully something good. Number 14, you can't have a new reality with an old mentality. Man, that is so, so true. You have to change in order to be who you want to be, in order to get where you're trying to go. And it doesn't matter where you are in your stage of life. You could be at 3rd and 13, like I talked about on a couple of episodes ago. But you can't change what you're going through now in your reality until with the same mentality that you had. So you can't attack 2025 the same way you did 2022. It's not possible. It's not even remotely possible. And if you do attack it with the same mentality, I'm willing to bet you're not going to get the results that you want. And that's with anything. It could be something as simple as, let's just say weight loss. Let's say you want to lose 10 pounds. What you did to lose 10 pounds in 2022 ain't going to work in 2025. It's just not. You're not built like that. Always remember that. And last but not least, number 15, no risk, no story. We all have a story to tell. I say that all the time. We all have a story to tell. The 12 Kyle podcast has evolved into being my story. If this platform stays up for 100 years from now, when I'm long gone, my great grandkids can press play and learn a little bit about who I was and what I thought about the world and how I saw the world from my vision. I mean, like, I would love to be able to hear what my grandfather thought about the world and growing up in the Jim Crow South and segregation and World War II. I would love to hear what his thoughts were, but he's not here, right? And you're going to take risk in life. You're always going to take risk in life. And here's the thing: it's like, it's like in basketball. You miss every shot that you don't take, so you're going to have to take risks, and you have to be cool and comfortable with the results. I say that all the time, like, in relating it to basketball. Like, I have no problem taking the last shot. I want to make sure that I get off a good shot, but I have no problem taking the last shot. And in taking the last shot, I just need to make sure that the team, meaning my wife, my kids, are comfortable with the shot that I take, because I can live with the results, make or miss. And I think when you have that and you've risked things, you have a story to tell. And people will genuinely want to hear what your story is and how you got to wherever you got to. Because we all have a story. Everybody's story is different. Some stories a little bit more drama filled than others, and some of that drama is self-imposed. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you want to make calculated risks. And once you do that, you'll have an even better story to tell. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me. Thanks again for checking out this edition of the 12 Kyle Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast. We drop podcasts twice a week, every Thursday and every Sunday at midnight. We also have a sister podcast that's called the Rap Soul Podcast. It's the best music podcast that you've never heard. It deals with rap music, soul music, R&B, and hip hop from the 80s, 90s, and the 2000s. Check that out. We drop new episodes on Mondays at midnight. 12 Kyle Podcast is everywhere. We're on social media. You can hit me up on social media. We have a YouTube channel as well. And if you'd like to donate financially, hit us up on Cash App, $TWELVEKYLE. Also, you can buy merch. We have a merch. Just click the link in the description box. You can buy 12 Kyle Podcast t-shirts, hoodies, and coffee mugs. Hey, we got it for the low. That's going to do it for me. I am your boy, 12 Kyle. I'll catch you guys next time. 5,000. Cheers.
Thanks again for listening to this episode of the 12 Kyle Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and share this podcast with a friend who needs the 12 Kyle Podcast in their life. Every listen, every download, and every share helps us grow. Thanks for being a part of the 12 Kyle Podcast community. We appreciate your support. We will catch you next time. 5,000.